Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. I have a very interesting episode for you today is because in the last 3-4 days, every channel has been talking about Facebook. Every channel. Every channel goes out and says that Baba, this Facebook, according to Wall Street Journal, knew that people were spreading hate using their platform. People like T. Raja Singh, like him, spreading hate using that platform. Their internal staff had told them also that, listen, these people are spreading fake, but Facebook said, let it be. Some public policy director of theirs, that lady said, don't bother, let them do it. We have to be close to the government, so let them spread hate, and they were allowed to spread hate. So this was what the Wall Street Journal report was. After the report, our entire country erupted, and Congress and the opposition leader under the able leadership of Mr. Shashi Tharoor also went and said, this is wrong, how can you do this? How can Facebook, do such violations? How can they spread hate in our country? And they should be thrown out, they should be reprimanded, so on and so forth. Now, I find all this very, very funny. And I will tell you why I find this funny. Let's get right into the show. Now, like I said, I find this very funny. The point number one that we should remember is Facebook is a media. Facebook is a media here in India to make money. Very clear. They are not any moral guide or moral conscience keeper, or they are not very ethical company per se. Facebook is not known to be a very ethical company anyways. Not only in India, across the globe. They have their own brand name, by the way. And in India per se, they are not an ethical company. They are a company that is here in India to make money. And if a company comes to India to make money, the first thing that company does, and especially companies like Facebook, the first thing that companies like Facebook does is get close to the government, the dispensation. They get close to the dispensation. Now that is one. So there is nothing new about it. This has been happening since eons. Nothing new about it. Okay. Number two, the fact that Facebook will promote a person who pays him. Like any media, if you give advertising to that media, if you give more advertising to that media, and if you are one of their biggest advertisers, that media more often than not will support your brand. 99.9999% that media will not write bad about your brand, and that is a fact. I have spent 27 years in advertising, and I can tell you with absolute confidence that if you spend a big spender on a media, will never have bad report in that media. Chances are very less. We don't have that kind of ethical media in this country. So let us be very clear about it. Because end of the day, media has to pay salaries, no? And the salaries comes from these advertisers. If they go and take panga with the advertisers, who is going to pay them? Who is going to pay the media salary? You think the 5 rupees or 6 rupees or 10 rupees that you pay to buy a newspaper actually takes care of the expenses of the newspaper? It doesn't. It is the advertiser who takes care of the expenses of the newspaper. And if at all some lucky newspaper is making money, it is thanks to the advertiser that newspaper is making money. Now you tell me, if you were in that newspaper's chairman seat, do you think you are going to write bad things about that advertiser? So that is not going to happen. So what are we talking about? BJP has been very benevolent when it comes to advertising. Very forward-looking also when it comes to social advertising. They are very forward-looking when it comes to social advertising. They are innovating social advertising. They are good at it. They spend time for it. They spend effort for it. So yeah, they get the best out of social advertising. They get the best out of these social platforms. They come to them with their hands folded because they are the biggest spenders. And they also innovate with them. They interact with them. So that is the first thing. Now, am I saying that what Facebook is doing is right? Absolutely not. But what I'm saying is, what are you expecting from Facebook? What are you expecting from Facebook? That brings me to my point number two. My point number two is, have you ever noticed what is happening in your house? Your own television channels every day 9 o'clock spews venom, spews hate, spews communal venom. There are court cases that has been put up against our own people, our own anchors. Hare, we are talking nothing about them. We are bothered about Facebook, whose platform somebody is using. But we are not talking about the people who are sitting in our channel and abusing and talking absolute rubbish on their 9 o'clock prime time. We don't seem to be having a problem with that. What kind of hypocrisy is this? Just because Facebook is a foreigner and we can throw him out at will, are we trying to juggle that? I don't think this committee and all can throw Facebook out of India, because Facebook has got tremendous clout. I think to my knowledge, to the best of my knowledge, Facebook has more clout with the government of India than possibly these opposition guys. So I don't think Facebook will be thrown out. But what are we talking about? Why haven't these zeal and this anger and this outrage and all, why hasn't these been shown to our own channels who have been talking worse than most of these guys? Why go with the Facebook? That's my point number 2. My point number 3. What are we saying? We are saying that, listen, Facebook has not stopped this guy called T. Raja Singh. We have not stopped T. Raja Singh. They have not stopped Kapil Mishra. Have our government stopped these guys? Have our legal system stopped these guys? Has the court said that this man talking filth, put him behind bars? Has the court said it? Has the court done any suo moto recognition of this and put anyone behind bars? Has the police caught these guys and put them behind bars, saying that what are you talking about? Acha, our own law is not finding them guilty, but we are expecting Facebook to find them guilty. How fair is this? How fair is this? Of course, that T. Raja Singh is a man who spews venom. He is a man who spews hatred. Of course he is. But my question is, ask your local government, your minister is KCR. Why can't you ask him what is he doing? Why is he not being put behind bars for all what he says? We don't ask him. We are going to go and ask Zuckerberg. Tumne kyun nahi kiya? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? So the point is, somewhere down the line, our monkey, we are putting in somebody else's shoulder. कि इसने नहीं किया, हम नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन हमसे नहीं होगा बाबा, वो भी नहीं किया, वो कौन foreigner? See, these are things that puts us in a very bad light internationally. कुछ भी हुआ तो catch an international company, throw them out. Any given, at a small drop of a hat, catch the first international company and put all the blame into them. And of course, I am, for not even for a minute, let me repeat. Actually, I guess I am coming to you through a Facebook platform, but I am telling you, not even for a minute would I consider this platform to be an ethical platform. Let me be very clear about that. That is my view, Baba. I may be wrong, I may be right, but this is what I consider. But then blaming everything on Facebook, correct ourselves first, correct our own home, and then go and we will speak to Facebook and others. Now my last point and my point number 4. Why am I doing this editorial? I am doing this editorial to put things into perspective. You know what my worry is? My worry is this Facebook thing is going to occupy this monsoon session. And we will be focused on Facebook hona chahiye, Facebook ko nikalna chahiye, Facebook hona chahiye, Facebook ko nikalna chahiye. In that, Facebook hona chahiye and Facebook ko nikalna chahiye, this entire incursion of China in our lands will be forgotten. Discussing that, this economic problem that we are going to face after COVID will be forgotten. Unemployment will be forgotten. You see, all those will be forgotten and we'll be discussing Facebook. Wherein it is a known fact that, and the last point I will make. You see, digital as a platform, let me tell you, digital as a platform is not a very clean platform. In digital, almost anything and everything can be bought. You can buy likes, you can buy views, you can even buy comments, you can buy followers, you can buy everything in Facebook, in digital platform. You see, you have those, your website ranking, you can buy them. You pay a fee every month and your ranking will be what you want. Or it will be it will not be what you want, but it will be a good ranking. These are facts. Nobody will tell you. I am telling you. These are facts. So in this industry, you are trying to search ethics and morality. And not in the court of law or in the legal justice system. We should be dragging these T Raja kind of people to the court, to the legal justice system, and tell them to answer or get them punished. We are going to Zuckerberg's doorstep and saying, hey, usko kyun allow kar raha hai? What sense is it making? This was my point of view. This is what I wanted to bring to your notice. And till we meet next time, namaskar.